We're almost live. Hey, folks, thanks for tuning into the BAMF podcast. I am your host, Mike Lafferty. There's a fish on my hat, and I'm not sure why. And today, we're talking about the Black Widow character from Marvel Comics, the comic incarnation versus the movie incarnation. But before any of that, folks, let me play my contractually obligated intro music. That is to assure you, gentle listener, that you are, in fact, engaging with a quality podcast right now with high production values. Now that you have been summarily assured, let me introduce you to my guest today. There is Christopher McLaughlin, the Ghost Show boss, right here next to me. How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing great. I'm still on break, and I'm still can get away with wearing shirts like this.
Oh no!
Do we lose Chris?
Oh no!
All right, Chris, we lost you for a second.
He's back. He's back.
I'm back.
Okay. You just glitched for a second. We were worried we lost you. So.
Sorry.
Oh, it's cool. You are back. And Walt Rebelliard, directly below us. How you doing, Walt?
There is tomahawks on my hat, but that's only because there's like 9 of them within reach of me right now. So.
Well, it's adequately defended in case the Mohican Nation decides to revive themselves. And,
oh my goodness!
That's a really ugly URL, isn't it? That's not a great banner, is it? I'll put that in the comments. People can just click on it. Walt has published a second book. Just came out. Let me share that page with you. If you like the military science fiction, kids. Well, this is book 2 in the Hunter's Moon series, and look at that! Look at that cover. Look at that.
Mm-hmm. Gotta love it.
Beautiful artwork with our protagonist next to this mechanical murder machine.
he's a fan favorite, by the way. Mm-hmm. that murder machine.
Yeah.
I have been told repeatedly that both he steals the show in several scenes, and that all of my protagonists are terrible people, which I wholeheartedly approve of.
Well, you could say the same about The Sopranos.
Yeah, and that's basically what the second book was. It was Star Wars: The Clone Wars meets The Sopranos.
Do you see how I set you up perfectly for that?
But just blunt force segue, like you were knocking it out of the park.
That's the kind of quality transition you only get from 400 episodes of podcasting. Hey, Aid Smith has joined us. Aid Smith from the UK. How are you doing, sir? Aid, you're on mute.
Hello.
Yes.
It is me.
Hey.
I seem to have lost my avatar, but it is me.
Okay. Your avatar is probably just buried in a block of ice up on the north side of the planet with the Ice Planet tribe. And sorry, that wasn't funny.
It's the NyQuil.
It's the NyQuil.
We've had too much heat in the last week, so we're not happy at all.
Oh.
Yeah, I understand you Northern Europeans tend to melt when it gets hot out there.
Oh, so totally. Yeah, we're like 30 degrees, and we're like, oh my god, this is horrible. And I totally agree with it, because I like anything over about 14 or 15. That's it for me. I've had enough.
It's 100 degrees outside this window.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to do that.
That's Fahrenheit. I don't know what it is in centigrade. Celsius, centigrade, Kelvin.
Yeah, 30 degrees is like 900 degrees Fahrenheit, right? So
yes,
I mean,
yeah, not that.
Okay. We got you.
And so we're here today to talk about
Black Widow. Wow.
Black Widow. Natasha Romanoff. Aid has also not seen the movie, and Aid, if I remember your preferences, you probably are not going to see that movie, right?
I haven't seen a Marvel Universe movie since Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, I think, something like that. Nah, doesn't bother me.
Right on.
And this one, again, not being funny, as soon as they unveiled the Taskmaster design for this one, it's like, man. So.
Everybody's stealing my gimmick of being the guy who will never see the movie and yet is on the podcast for some reason. When did I become the big outgoing dude who's getting into movie theaters and stuff?
Yeah, no.
It's strange days. COVID has changed everything. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, hey, if we're talking comics, I will take the opportunity to share with you my favorite cover with Black Widow on it.
Nice.
Cool.
You guys remember this one? Ilmet and Madripoor? That wasn't. Yeah, I think that was this one. So it's a time spanning story where you've got Wolverine hanging out with Natasha when she's young and when Steve Rogers is pre-frozen, and then them all teaming up again after she's still young because comic book science, and Logan is still Logan because he's a mutant, and Steve is still young because Much like Abe's Avatar, he was frozen in ice for a very long time. Callbacks, the highest form of comedy. But yeah, I remember reading this in 1989. That was a great book.
1989. Holy crap!
That was
and I
excellent.
love that costume. That grey costume. I like that costume. The original black costume where she was doing the Daredevil sharing stuff. That was always cool. But that's like the grey one. The grey one was really cool.
Yeah. This is actually the first Captain America comic I ever read that I enjoyed, because he doesn't do so much sermonizing in this one. You gotta have a little sermonizing in any Captain America comic, but whenever he stops in the middle of a fist fight and gives like someone's freshman political science essay, just takes me out of the action comic vibe.
Right on.
So, all right. So, Chris, let's start off with you talking about the movie, because I know you have thoughts, and then we'll segue around to everyone else's thoughts on the character.
It was so good to get out of the house, as weird as it felt that, you know, it at that point it had been 2 years since I had seen a Marvel movie in a theater, and I was going to see one that chronologically took place before the last ones I had seen. You know, it really made you feel like time had come unhinged somewhere. You know, so yeah, but once you get past the disorientation of it all, the film didn't really help with the disorientation, because for a film I basically liked and was basically glad that I saw, it's easy for me to talk about what I didn't like, and that is it was really a tonal mess, because it starts off with this maybe the best part of the film, this like great Mission Impossibly type, nail digging your fingernails into the seat kind of rush.
Did you ever see the Americans, the TV show?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a couple of deep cover KGB operatives with their family in the U.S. And same kind of vibe in that first like 10 minutes. Sorry, go ahead.
And it moves from that to creepy guys abducting children, and it cuts into this lugubrious, creepy version of Smells Like Teen Spirit, which shows even more girls being abducted around the world. And there's a part of you that's like, wait, is Marvel going all like serious and dark? Because that's a choice, and it's a valid one, because it seems at some point the Marvel universe is going to try everything, and at some point they'll just because they'll run out of other things to do, they'll do like a dark, gritty film. And at least while I was sitting there waiting for the opening montage to end, I had a thought that, is this going to be a movie about Natasha going and killing all these people, and at the end she goes off to make her grand sacrifice of herself in Infinity War, because she's got so much, even though she killed a bunch of child abductors, she's got so much blood on her hands from this movie, that's why she is the one who has to die. And I thought, well, this could be a valid choice. And if the track record of the director, Kate Shortland, apparently her thing is doing movies about women and girls being abducted and exploited. So you get a feeling that it's going to be dark but valid. And then that goes to hell like 5 minutes after the credits. because here's the thing, okay? If you're doing unpowered Marvel heroes, the trick is that they have to get hurt. That's the drama with their stories. I can't quote you issue and verse, but I'm very fond of the movie of the issue of Spider-Man, where Spider-Man almost loses a fight to a D-grade villain because he's got the flu. Like the street level Marvel people, it should matter if they've got the flu. Well, it's in them within 10 minutes of the credits, she survives an SUV rollover crash that would have killed like 8 people. And it's there's just way too many times that she should have not only been really hurt but died, that you just kind of get the sense that there's just no gravity to this. You know, there's like 80 kajillion rounds of ammunition fired in this movie, and more people are killed on an average A-Team episode. You know, it's just, I mean, you never know about the action sequences of this film because they're so CGI heavy. I don't know if the Marvel films, but I know the Fox ones, they have to do the action sequences in advance of the actual films. I don't know how much of this you can put on the script, how much of this you can put on Kate Shortland, but the action sequences were just interminable, boring, completely lacking in gravity or stakes. Or
it's funny you should say gravity, because that bit where they were fighting through the debris field for like 20 minutes.
Yes.
Our flying headquarters is falling.
Yes.
It's still falling. Yes. Oh my God, we're still falling. We're still fighting through flying debris.
Yeah, and you're just sort of left with the at least for me, the astonishing feeling of these fights are too bullshit for a comic book movie. How far do you have to push things to lose credibility in a and I don't come in and go like there's no way that bullet could not have penetrated that substance because I've calculated the variables. No, I want to see some unbelievable shit when I go to see a comic book movie, but when it's so unbelievable, you're just and there's no stakes or gravity to it.
Do they do anything like they did? Because one of the compliments they said about the Daredevil TV series is that corridor fight. Daredevil looks knackered halfway through, and then he tries. Did he even do that, or did she just glide through everything with no problem whatsoever?
There's a scene in the opening 20 minutes where somebody gets stabbed into the stomach, and you know, I have more blood after I shave. and again, okay, all right, and again, okay, if you want to do a grim and gritty movie about
you gotta screen capture that.
Yeah. If you want to do a grim and gritty movie about the abduction and exploitation of women, that's a choice. If you want to do a jokey blow 'em up standard Marvel movie, that's also a choice. I just don't think you can have both. And the fact that they try to have it both in this movie is its fundamental problem.
The thing is, the comics could have done that as well, because the comic, if this would have been a Black Widow movie for that first vein, a bit of abduction, it'd been a Marvel Knights book back in the day.
Yeah,
and that's what they would have done. But now it's like, oh, we're mixing between the two.
Yeah.
I want to say hi to Sean Vera, who you've actually met kind of in person, Chris. He was a guest on the
Last Go Show podcast. Hello, Sean. Yeah. There and a lot of the action just flat out doesn't make sense. It's like Natasha is getting ready to finally punch the ticket of the guy behind the international the Black Widow abduction and exploitation of women program, and she can't because she's been altered to not be able to kill his pheromones by smelling his pheromones. And Walt, I thought of you because something like, wow, how do you kill somebody who if you get close enough to smell them, you can't hurt them?
I mean, these are like those widow agents from the comics. You would think that somebody is a designated marksman at some point. They can use a high-powered bolt-action rifle and smack somebody from another zip code. But
they show several of the Black Widow agents with sniper rifles. They can't do anything. but it's like we're just like, fine, I'll go in the next room and shoot you the second you come out. You know.
Yeah, you could. Hey, hang on, after the bathroom. Step outside, toss a grenade in, wait 5 seconds. Okay, problem's over. But
it does. Yeah. Okay. So those so this and the script, the only character that but the actors with one exception are able to rise above it. I don't want to sound like I'm picking on Rachel Weisz, because Rachel Weisz is a talented actress, but they give her a character who's like a super brainy scientist who's also a Black Widow, who's designed the mind control program that it makes the whole thing happen. She was also a willing spy for one of the most evil regimes that ever existed. But after like a 30-second conversation, she's like, "I'm good now," and then we all just sort of let the rest of that slide. No, and nobody else ever brings it up again. It's her character is like one step across the Poochie line as far as credibility goes, and it's just but the rest of the cast makes it work. Scarlett Johansson is great. I love how she underplays when everything else is going crazy. Florence Pugh steals the movie because more than anybody else, she convinces you she's a Russian. She has this really, really dark sense of humor, and she plays it so well. She's able to get a lot of laughs over some lines that aren't inherently funny. And David Harbour is great. I mean, just playing like this gone to seed alcoholic guy who made horrible mistakes in his past and isn't making good choices because of it. He's very appealing and very funny in a completely inappropriate way. He had a tough character and he made it work. He really did. So much credit to. And then the villain, Ray Winstone. He's like a slime ball that just gets bigger as it goes down. You really, it's really satisfying when he dies. I'll say that. There's not much more you could ask for a Marvel villain. You kill this guy and make me enjoy it. So, I would recommend that you go see it because what are your choices? The crappy Space Jam sequel or really, just be prepared for a movie that's going to kind of lurch from one direction to the other, and go for Florence Pugh and David Harbour and Scarlett Johansson because they make this work better than it should.
Okay. I'm wondering, do you think this means we'll see the Winter Guard at some point?
That's
because they do name up the Crimson Dynamo at one point when one of the Black Widows is making fun of the Red Guardian. She goes, "Oh, you're just mad because you were Crimson Dynamo. No one cares anymore." And he's like, "It was Red Guardian." But no, I agree with you. It's just Marvel has trouble dealing with real world issues in these movies. And they're entertaining enough movies on their own. I don't know why they should try. But yeah, the trafficking and exploitation of women and girls is a huge deal. And it perhaps isn't really treated with any gravity in this movie. It's just it's brought up and then not really addressed. And there's this one lady who turns out to be a hero who was responsible for a whole shitload of that. And her and Natasha kind of bond, and we just get past that. So, I don't know. But that's not unique to just this issue. Whenever Marvel brings up an issue, I can't think of a real world moral issue Marvel has actually handled with any kind of sensitivity, come to think of it. We could go down that rabbit hole, but that's kind of boring, and we're supposed to be a fun, happy podcast. So let's talk about other stuff.
Well, would it be appropriate if this podcast were a tonal mess where we would be jokey and like way too serious one moment or from the next?
I've been watching an episode of The Wire.
Talk about dark.
Yeah, and they had an episode that dealt with this exact issue. There is a container that shows up at Patapsco in Baltimore, and they open it up for inspection, and oh wow, there's 14 dead girls from Eastern Europe in there.
Oh.
And the cops spend the rest of the season trying to figure out, okay, what happened? Why is that going on? And they want to investigating some brothels. And hey, that is a really cool cover you got there, Walt.
That's from Winter Soldier, way back in the way back.
Oh, yeah, the Brubaker days.
Yeah, that's oh my god, that Black Widow.
Mm-hmm.
That she was tight in that book.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of old. It's kind of old hat to complain about changes between the characters in the comics to the movies, but Natasha did make a really big one, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. She's a lot different on screen than she is in the comics.
Mm.
Although to be fair, I think one of the coolest scenes ever is the Loki interrogation in the first Avengers movie. I just, feigning weakness when she's actually in a position of strength was just brilliantly done. Just absolutely cool. And I mean, they foreshadow it in the beginning of the movie.
Mhm.
Scarlett Johansson doing kind of like a deadpan thing, and then the second she turns around to, like, oh, woe is me kind of deal. I'm like, wait a minute. The Black Widow's not a woe is me kind of character. She's probably doing that thing that she did to Banner, and that was that to me that was the best part of the cinematic Black Widow, is that she was the spy. She would use whatever asset she had to accomplish her mission, even if feigning weakness. And I think, one of the things I really, really enjoyed in seeing some of the previews of this movie is Yelena's kind of poking fun at her the whole time.
Oh yeah.
There's that great scene about the superhero landing.
Mhm.
And she tries it and she's like, bleh.
Yeah,
There's a great callback to the Loki scene in this one.
Good.
It's probably the most satisfying action moment in the film, actually.
Now, can we talk about Taskmaster a little bit?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, why? Well, first of all, why do we have Technomaster? With this really bad skateboarding suit. But beyond that, how spoilery are we getting with this movie?
If you don't want this movie to be spoiled right now, gentle reader, gentle listener,
It's
go elsewhere.
sorry, God.
Sorry,
It's purely a name check, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that there's not even that they don't even have any acknowledgement that they're copying the Avengers for his powers like it does in the comics, because that character probably doesn't encounter the Avengers. I'm just guessing that.
There's a scene where she's watching videos, I think.
Oh, okay. Oh.
And I mean, she's clearly got a shield that's like Captain America's. And there's one scene where she fires an arrow like Hawkeye. And in this scene here, I got the still up. You can see she's got the Black Panther claws. I think that's about it. Although I'm not sure what other skills she could really emulate except for hand-to-hand combat. And she
Fighting styles, agility.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, carry on.
do we think we're going to get the actual Taskmaster in the MCU at some point?
I mean, it's possible. Nothing's ever lost in Marvel, and they love to do callbacks. And the technology that created her probably still exists in a warehouse somewhere in Siberia. So, I mean, we could. I don't know. It's he was kind of a cool, quippy villain, and she's pretty much plays him like the Winter Soldier in this, just a robotic assassin. So
yeah, I mean, I want to see this suit.
Yeah,
I want to see this guy. Because
yeah.
I mean, one of the greatest beatdowns in comics is probably from a comic that Aid probably despises, but I'm going to go there anyway. Because Aid, you're not a Deadpool guy, right?
I'm not a Deadpool fan. No.
Yeah, I gotcha. So one of the greatest beatdowns ever is the Taskmaster just whips Deadpool's ass in at this training facility, and then Deadpool stands up and starts altering his fighting style with every move, and the Taskmaster, because of his abilities, can't keep up. His brain starts short circuiting because Deadpool keeps changing tactics with every movement. I really enjoy the scene because it was funny as hell, because here's this super serious, I'm the Taskmaster, I will take you down. And he's like, and then we move to the Macarena. And I'm like, this is awesome. So, but yeah, that was one of the most funniest beatdowns ever. But you see how dangerous the Taskmaster is in that, because he, for a while, was just totally dominating him. And here's a guy that can break the fourth wall, and he's getting owned. And I'm like, oh, that's not good.
Yeah, I didn't mind.
Mike, you're muted. Okay.
I didn't mind this version of the I didn't mind this version of the Taskmaster, but I just thought the character's main problem was that for the amazing power that all versions of Taskmaster have, it's still relatively low level. It's still fists and bows and arrows and shields. And, again, you run up against that problem where nothing actually affects anybody for long. So, I mean, it's really hard to feel any kind of jeopardy or get any sort of gravity from this character when, their powers have no real long lasting effects on anybody.
Yeah.
From viewer Sean Avera, the Taskmaster has become a great tragic character in the comics with his revealed origin. Loved characters miniseries.
Yeah.
There was a rumor that he was going to be in Deadpool 2 back in 2017.
I'm kind of glad it didn't happen. I would love to see like a Taskmaster in a Captain America movie or something like that, because it's those roles where he was really, or even if they did like a Thunderbolts. Well,
spoiler alert that all that is wide open to happen. That's still on the table at the end of this movie.
Well, the last thing he did when he was technically a good guy was the Avengers Academy stuff, wasn't it? Where they did the state stuff. So I mean, they could bring back the real Taskmaster. Say, of course, I trained the Black Widow version as well. I mean, what do you mean? So yeah.
Well, I mean, the character in this movie is a blank slate. I mean, it's a Russian woman instead of a dude, and the powers are based on a computer chip rather than mutant powers. But other than that, there's no reason that you can't do more comic book accurate versions of this character. So
yeah, I wound up, I was okay with the movie. It felt like a kind of a Star Wars sequel, like you go see a Star Wars sequel, hey, there's a big battle station they're fighting. This was kind of like that, except the template was Winter Soldier. And I felt like that same kind of, action-driven political spy thriller. And it was okay. You kind of see the seams here and there. But
yeah,
I don't know. I would love it if they took the chance to go back and do some like crazy comic book stuff, like do a Defenders book. But I think maybe that ship has already sailed. Especially with this, the MCU is a little more grounded than, hey, it's Hercules and Black Widow and Angel, and they're fighting Godzilla on the Bay Bridge.
Take my money.
Valkyrie. Yeah, I would be up for that, but I don't know if anybody else would be. So have we mined this conversational vein all we can, fellas?
I think Black Widow is widowed.
Aid, what are your thoughts, sir?
I think the interesting thing about this one is because it got held back so far. I think, like Chris was saying, you've got to think back 5 years or 4 years or whatever when it fits into the slot. I think some people just go, well, we know she dies, what's the point? So I think that might hamper it a bit, and I'm interested to see what happens with this Phase 4 stuff, because it does seem to be very detached from anything previous at the moment. But with only Spider-Man, I think Doctor Strange, I suppose, has got some links, hasn't it, to some stuff, but we shall see. But all in all, whatever. It can pass me by and I don't notice. It's just like a seagull in the sky. It's gone before you look up. You hear the squawk and it's gone. You think, well, it's fine.
As long as it doesn't poop on you.
Exactly. Yeah.
So Sean is asking.
In answer to Sean's question, I think they wanted to be, but again, it's so tonally all over the place. You can't really do a spy thriller with so little sense of jeopardy from people, in like rolling car accidents, just getting, doing this. And,
the thing is, they've had like Atomic Blonde, and they've had the Jennifer Lawrence Red Sparrow, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, which was effectively Black Widow.
Exactly, that's it. So they've had like two movies that are very similar to Black Widow in the meantime before they actually made Black Widow. And then when they come to it, it's like, shit, what do we do now? We've got to kind of MCU it up a bit. We can't ground it, otherwise it's just going to say, well, it's just a Bourne film. We don't want a Bourne film. We want something with pheromones in it. So, yeah.
I mean, it was kind of a cool character beat when she had to like break her own nose hard enough that it severed the nerve, so she couldn't smell him. At the same time, she couldn't kill him because she could smell him. Was kind of it was like a Venture Brothers gag.
Why could they just put a post-hypnotic suggestion in it? I don't understand why they couldn't have just done that. It makes no sense. Why did that
Yeah.
have something physical? It's just like, okay, no, she can concentrate, she can break her, yeah, she asserts her own will and breaks the programming. That would make
Well-
sense. The idea is
well-
like, no, I can't
well,
sniff you. I've got a cold. I'm fine.
For better or for worse, they established that the reason that Natasha and the Rachel Weisz character were able to break away to the extent that they did was they were only subjected to psychological conditioning. It's the newer model Black Widows that have actually been like chemically brainwashed, and the great MacGuffin of the movie is the chemical antidote for that.
It's this red chili powder, that CGI chili powder that when it explodes in the same room with you, it's a thing. And just to let you guys know, you can now celebrate the glorious birth of our Lord Jesus with Black Widow themed Christmas ornaments.
Right.
You can trim your very own tree with this. He kind of looks like Santa though, so that's all right?
I wonder if these were all put together and manufactured for last year, and then the film never came out, so they've had to sit them for 9 months.
It makes you wonder. So
I wonder if they were ever tempted to chuck them off onto like some impoverished country where like normally all they get are loads of like Buffalo Bills Super Bowl champion gear.
Oh my God.
oh yeah, here we go. David Harbour as Red Guardian.
Wow.
How was he in the film?
Hilarious.
I like Dave Harbour because I liked him in Stranger Things, and I thought he was good in this. I never saw him in Hellboy, but yeah, he's a bad dad made good. This is basically his character arc. So
He gets the redemption arc that Rachel Weisz's character really need to have something similar.
Yeah. Yeah, don't see that, Hellboy. Don't.
yeah, it still wasn't good. Okay. I have a dream, gentlemen. I have a dream that Chris Evans will one day want more money in his bank account, and he will say, "Use your de-aging technology, Marvel. Put me back in me and Peggy Carter fighting commies in the Cold War." And you'll have Chris Evans squaring up against David Harbour as Red Guardian. I would line up the movie theater and pay money to see that. I don't think it's going to happen. I think Chris Evans is going to have a great career. He'll never have to come back to these movies, but I would be so into that if it did. So, but it was fun. I hope to see that character again. I mean, there can't be a Black Widow 2, although I guess they can with Yelena. Although apparently she's going to be in whatever team Elaine Bennis from Seinfeld's putting together.
Well,
Wait,
they're
what?
between that and Falcon and Winter Soldier, they're clearly setting up for a Dark Avengers arc.
Yeah, her character name is Count von Liechtenstein Cumbersnatch.
Contessa.
She'll always be Elaine Bennis from Seinfeld to me. She shows up at the end of this movie and the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier. Falcon and Winter Soldier, she recruits U.S. agent. This one, she recruits the new Black Widow, Yelena, and says, "Hey, do you want to go after Hawkeye since he is responsible for the death of your kind of older sister?" And that's where it ends. So Dark Avengers is being set up, and
That's the part of the film Walt should see because when you see Yelena in the post-credit scene, you get a quick glimpse, but she's picked up either a German Shepherd or a Malinois.
Which means now she has no free time. She's not going to be able to do any spy stuff.
do you know how much time training takes? Let me tell you.
Oh my God! And as a young puppy, those things vibrate through walls. I mean, you gotta stay on top of them.
Have you ever been able to find an indestructible dog toy that lives up to the marketing, Walt?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
And it's not really the toy; it was more the bed. When I had Loki, my German Shepherd, that dude tore apart $100 beds like it was Tuesday. And I was just like, what the hell? And a buddy of mine calls me up and says, "Hey, it's a company that we deal with sometimes. They're called Canine Ballistics. I am sending you the promo material, and they have a 100-pound baby tiger trying to eat this bed. And because the bed is canvas woven with strands of Kevlar, the tiger can't do it. So I was like, I don't care how much it costs. I need this." And man, that German Shepherd spent like 2 afternoons trying to murder this bed. And I came and I round the corner and there he is. He's exhausted. He's like, "You're a dick." So yeah, that was the best like $120 I ever spent. And they guarantee it. They're like, look, if in 90 days he cracks the code and kills this bed, we'll send you the upgraded version we use for the military working dogs with titanium teeth.
Wow.
So I was like, and for those that don't know, when on a hard takedown, if a MWD cracks a canine, what they will do is they will actually replace all 4 canines with titanium implants. And it's done just like a stud, just like you do with a fake tooth for a human. And they're nasty when they get those things put in. So yeah, I was that was cool to have that. And those they were a cool company. They sent a lot of we have a the Kong toys you can get. Have you ever seen those things? They have the Canine Ballistics Jelly Bean. And it looks like a giant jelly bean, and it's orange, so it's easy to find in the house when the dog gets pissed and throws it across the room. So yeah.
So can I throw out an invitation for all of us dog guys to get together and talk about Hawkeye when it comes on?
Let's do it. Yes, because Pizza Dog will be the star. Let's hope.
Yes. I understand there's usually somebody else here in the Brady Bunch Square, but I'd love to have an opportunity to talk about a dog-centric show.
Oh my God!
When's Hawkeye coming out?
I thought it was 2022 they were talking.
I do have a Super Pets manuscript from Jacob Blackman that I'm sitting on until DC has a Super Pets movie coming out next year, animated. And I'm holding on to it until that comes out, and then I'll probably retire on that money, and you guys can come visit me in Estonia or wherever I retire to. So.
And if we're still talking about pets, we could always do a show about the new He-Man. I'm just going to have to mute myself a lot because you're going to hear my head hitting the desk repeatedly.
Is that from Joy?
Kevin Smith is a dick. Fuck that guy.
Okay, is it that bad?
It's not that it's bad. It's actually some fun cartoons. A couple of the episodes... friend of the show, James McCormick, who works in and around Hollywood, has watched it, and on his recommendations, I knew which episodes to stay away from. So the ones I watched so far were very, very good cartoons, and they were very action-oriented and a lot of, whatever. But if you're gonna have a Masters of the Universe cartoon, you should really that's labeled as He-Man in the Masters of the Universe, you should really have He-Man in it.
Oh, well, I would agree.
Yeah. So all the internet rumors that had Kevin Smith like, oh no, you guys just wait and see it, you'll see, So we're about halfway through right now, and I'm just like, do I really want to continue this? Because it's fun cartoon. I'll probably watch it episode per episode when I got time. But they'll probably bring our token dude in at the very last minute, for some big fight or something like that. But yeah.
Can I watch it with my 8-year-old?
Kind of like Venture Brothers in that there are going to be adult themed jokes.
I would never watch Venture Brothers with a kid in the room.
Okay, so don't do it.
There was a razor blade dildo in one episode of Venture Brothers this last season.
So if you don't want to have to explain no glove, no love to your child, then don't.
Warning received. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that based on a toy or something?
He-Man was supposed to be based on a toy, yeah, but hey.
This is the problem though with all this bullshit. They always try and upgrade it. They always try to make it edgy. It's like, for fuck's sake, just make it like a bloody good adventure type show.
Yeah,
you can't just do that, and it's annoying me. And I'm with you. Well, I've seen all the stuff online. I've been keeping up with it, and it's on Netflix. And I have yet to motivate myself to watch it because I know after about 50 minutes, I'm just going to go, this is horse shit, and I am going to be pissed off. So.
Now, the one I am waiting for that really I'm hoping lives up to its sister, like Castlevania, is the new Witcher cartoon.
Oh,
following Vesemir instead of oh god, I can't believe I forget the main character's name. The actual
White Wolf.
Yeah, the White Wolf. Oh, there we go. So But yeah, they follow Vesemir instead, and he goes apparently on a mission, and the animation looks tight. It's got that like Castlevania style animation and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that it'll do well. So
And again, the source material slightly more adult, so therefore you can put more in it. You can do more anime kind of stuff in it. But there you go.
yeah, but not He-Man. Come on, no glove, no love.
You know, there was a great Stephen Colbert quote about the time that Zack Snyder was on one of his tirades and just literally saying, "Batman kills people. Get over it. Get over it."
Yeah.
And Colbert just gently looked in the camera and said, "Zach, these are children's comic books. You're not allowed to go, Aquaman human traffics now. Walk it off. The Flash deals speed to kids. Deal with it."
Yeah, wasn't it Snyder who said his ultimate version of Batman was Bruce Wayne being raped in a prison shower scene or something like that?
Yes.
It's like, dude, come on.
Yes.
Could be toy driven. Highlight for the figures. Core driven. Oh, corporation driven. Yeah, maybe.
Might be. I hear Man at Arms has more to do.
Yeah,
So-
I saw the scene with the him like underwater Man at Arms kind of deal, and I was just like, all right, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, but then like you said, it like a lot of it's fun, but there's no He-Man. You could do that for an episode. Don't do that for a series. Do a spinoff.
Yeah, I have to withhold comment. I haven't seen it yet. I did meet Kevin Smith once for 5 minutes at the Niagara Falls in a gift store, and he was a very pleasant fellow. So, you know, I hope he did a good job.
Well,
But
like I said, the episodes are mostly fun. There's a couple of them where you're just like, ugh, come on, you know. But I mean, like the first episode, right on, dude, rocket, you know. But not He-Man.
Yep.
We knew him well.
Well, there's a second cartoon coming, so Netflix is going to have two completely separate but equal He-Man franchises running. So yeah, in a few months we'll see the other one. So.
Oh God, is it going to be like the Goofy Thundercats like reboot they tried?
It is definitely aimed toward the younger audience, I believe. Yes.
So maybe.
I don't think it's quite in the same crappy animation style as Thundercats. I think it actually has a style to it, rather than going the whole Steven Universe kind of looking like stuff. Yeah, I think they've. I don't know why they've decided to do two series that close to each other with completely different aspects to go to. But hey. Why didn't they just continue down the middle and go with the continuation of the original series rather than try either side and make it one really young and one really old? It just seems bizarre.
Because about every 15 years they try to reboot Masters of the Universe, and because everything goes faster these days, we're doing two reboots at once. So.
Yeah, but the 2002 Masters of the Universe was really, really good. The reboot of Thundercats was really, really good. And then they come along and do a shittier version later on, which is like, well, do you not realise there was a better version of this about 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, you wait till they reboot Spider-Man in about 5 minutes. So.
Spider-Man gets rebooted every 5 years, doesn't it?
Yeah. I don't know if they have separate toy lines or not, Sean. That is a good question. So.
Yes, there are two separate toy lines.
You know, speaking of toy lines, I want to talk about something that I absolutely love. Is there's a comic on Kickstarter right now because I love indie comics, and I think indie comics are real where people should find their jam right now if they're not looking to just rehash the same old. There's a Marvel artist named Tom Rash, and he's been pitching this book for almost a decade now. It's called Black Alpha. It's kind of like Green Lantern meets Batman set against Star Wars.
Okay.
The artwork was amazing. He released stills of the pages about 3 to 5 years ago, and it was such a fun book when he released it. I guess he's doing like a redone version, and yep, that's it. And he's had toy lines. He's had he's had multiple pitches from different movie studios to try and get it made into a cartoon. He's got all this like back matter, like mock-ups of the ships and maquettes of the main character and stuff like that. And it never found the right I guess. I mean, yeah, it was even on episodes of The Big Bang Theory. You know,
Well,
but
I
it.
won't put that against him.
Yeah, well, it was the what do you call it? It was just the toy. It was in the toy store. You know, but I mean, just a lot of fun. It was kind of like it had that tone of like the old Joe Mad comics, like Battle Chasers back in the day. You know, with that style of artwork and very intense and cinematic. And yeah, so I'm so looking forward to this kind of like redone version of it because the original was just fantastic. So yeah, so if you guys get a second, yeah, roll on over there and check out his stuff because yeah, I'm seriously hoping that there's the ship, the Aramis Hammer 7, just fantastic stuff. So hopefully, I think he's already funded. So I'm hoping to see more of this because the idea was a lot of fun and some of the like mock-ups we've seen were a lot of fun. So hopefully.
All right, I'll be backing this because this is I'm a sucker for this kind of comic book.
Right.
So yeah, cosmic superheroes, that's my jam. So
Gotta love it.
I think Sean's there too. All right, thank you, Sean.
Hey.
Appreciate that, buddy. All right, I have to go back to being a corporate wage slave, and maybe you guys have to go back to other stuff you do. Walt is ghostwriting. Aid, what are you up to today?
I have been finishing off my OSE NPC cards.
Yes,
Because
dude,
I
those
had
are
to-
so good.
Because I had to change them all because they came back the wrong bloody size. I had to do all 100 again.
Oh,
But they are now
no.
completed.
Dude,
Oh.
when those go live, you got to come on and talk about them.
Yeah, the actual cards are now the right size with the trim because it actually, instead of adding a border to them when I pressed the button, it decided to expand the image to the side, so all the trim come very, very close to all the writing. So now I've actually imported them all into the right size. So hopefully now when they get trimmed off, they will have a nice border around with them, and they will be finished. So they will hopefully be uploaded to Drive Through this weekend, and then when I get the actual sample come through, I can actually start selling them.
That's awesome, dude. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's taken 2.5 years.
That's the life of doing print on demand layout. It can be frustrating. So, Chris, I assume you're living a life of leisure after this podcast, sir.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I'm trying to get in my last few video games and idle movie hours. But I did want to say to anybody interested that this Sunday, the 25th at 9:00 Eastern time, I will be back with my own little corner of the BAMF family of podcasts,
Nice.
and I'll be doing this month's episode of The Ghost Show. And I am going to be having on all of the female, gender fluid, and female identifying people that contributed to my transgressive horror anthology. And we are going to be talking about women in horror cinema. And
Very cool.
it's going to be my first time flying solo as a host. And I just hope it goes better than the first time that, I got up in front of a classroom. But really, I've booked way more interesting guests than myself. So hopefully nobody will see me in the corner panicking and clicking on things. Thank you,
go.
Sean. We look forward to having you there with questions and comments.
And Chris, I'm just shine the mic signal on a passing cloud, and I can jump in and provide awkward transitions for you. As best of my ability.
You're the best, man. I appreciate it. If you see tears, jump in.
Okay, all right.
It was so great to get to talk to Aid and Walt again. I've really missed talking about media with you guys. It's wonderful, and I hope we can find an excuse to get back together and get Jacob back in the room and talk about. Hey, I got to see the Shang-Chi and Eternals trailers. Hopefully, we'll have good stuff to talk about soon.
Yeah, it's been quiet on the old media front, hasn't it?
Oh, for
well, at least on
Shang-Chi?
everything. Just
Yeah.
for everything, it's been quiet about everything. I mean, good comics, good movies. Yeah. Anyway, all good.
All right, I have to play our contractually obligated video musical outro. 1 second. All righty, and we will catch you all next time on the BAMF Podcast.